It's Mindark, and I'm ready to delve into Hatoful Boyfriend yet again. Things got a little weird in the last episode, what with the pudding god and the nerd ghost, but maybe we can get back on track. I'm talking about the mysterious disappearances occurring at the school and Dr. Shuu's likely involvement. During Mr. Nanaki's playthrough, we did have a frightening moment involving the doctor, but luckily we were saved. In this video, I'd like to explore 3 new paths. How many more can there be, right? I'm going to skip over a lot of the mundane things this time around. Nanaki won't be walking us home at all, and yes, we meet a zombie, and no, we don't work at the cafe. So let's begin. In this first playthrough today, we'll be attending only gym or music class. Like in Yuya's playthrough, we join the infirmary staff. Yuya will tell us not to touch the doctor's desk, but unlike in his playthrough, we completely ignore him and tidy up anyway. Here, we're caught by the doc, and he asks us to not do this again. Curiosity killed the cat, or so he says. At the sports festival, we help out at the first aid tent. We chat with Yuya and notice the doctor resting under a tree, taking notes on various athletes. We know from Okasan's playthrough that he has been giving pills to some of the students, but when we, a human, took the pills, we gained intellect. But what would be the case if a bird took these pills? We get to see an interesting scene about Brian the pigeon. Brian apparently was one of the first birds to gain intelligence that all birds seem to have now. This wonder pigeon is not mentioned again for the rest of the playthrough, but I can't assume it was brought up for no reason at all. Months later, we enter the infirmary to see Yuya arguing with the doctor. The doctor is accusing Yuya of looking through files on his desk. You'll remember this scene during Yuya's playthrough originally. Yuya tries to cover his tracks by saying he was hanging out with us the entire time. The first time we just played along and got the heck out of there. Unfortunately, I can't say the same now. We deny being with Yuya, and the doctor delightfully asks us to leave as he has important business to discuss with Yuya. During Yuya's playthrough, we had the chance to ask the doctor about the missing students. Back then, we wisely passed on that opportunity and just went home. Being a little bolder this time, we bring up the subject. We mention how we've heard this legend going around and thought it was cool. The doctor doesn't say much on the topic, and then he asks if it would be cool if we disappeared. For the summer festival, we decide to invite Dr. Shuu. Maybe if we get closer to the doctor, we can get more answers. He agreed to come along with us in exchange for our left arm. We joke that off, and he instead asks us for some of our hair. A week later, we come across the doctor while taking a walk late at night. We see him muddied and ask what he's up to. He says he was simply disposing of some things that are no longer needed. We find the student ID on the ground, which was found in every other playthrough. Usually we go give that to Mr. Nanaki, but this time we march up to the doctor and hand it to him. At first annoyed at bothering him, he takes a look at the ID card and then gives you thanks. It wouldn't do to have someone else finding the ID and asking questions, apparently. Get ready, it's maid well no birds and maid outfits this time. Instead we check out the food stalls outside. While walking about, we see a glimpse of Dr. Shuu and we follow him. We remark that the only thing at the back of the school is the incinerator. When confronting the doctor, he says he was just getting rid of things. When working at the infirmary, we ask Dr. Shuu where Yuya is. The doctor laughs. Yuya hasn't been to school for months. Probably quit school and left town. That would be a nice truth, though, wouldn't it? Christmas Eve comes about, and in all other playthroughs we spent it with the bird we were pursuing, but this time we spend it all alone. The loneliness is interrupted by the mailman delivering a package from Dr. Shuu. He gives a gift of food, a warm chicken or turkey. You can't really tell, but whatever it is, it's absolutely delicious. New Year's Day, and we go down to the shrine to pick up a charm for good luck. We notice Dr. Shuu standing in the area. Not in the line to get anything, not talking to anyone, just standing and watching. We talk to him briefly. Who would notice if 1 or 2 people were to disappear? Today is the last day working at the infirmary, so we head over. The doctor isn't in yet, so we begin to clean up, and we look at one of the beds. Covered with blood. A wash basin coated with blood and feathers. Horrified, we go to leave. but it's too late. "You're early today, Miss Tosaka," says the doctor. He sees the panic and fear in our face and apologizes for all the blood. He calmly explains that he just finished dismembering a student and didn't have time to clean up. We try to escape and he just watches us struggle with the door. In shock and confusion, we ask if he's been using students for his experiments. Finding amusement in this question, he thanks us for bringing back the ID card of a student he just killed. We demand to know where Yuya is. He pats us on the stomach, again thanking us for our help. "How did he taste?" he asks. He is ecstatic to see the horror on our face. He taunts us saying we knew he was dangerous, but we kept showing up time and time again. He asks if we're in love with him, and we're unable to say a single thing. He says his only love is research, but he can have us join in on that. He gives an explanation on how he will kill us, how he will experiment on our lifeless corpse, but he will try to keep our head alive. Suddenly, he has a cleaver in his left wing. For a moment, our vision shifts to the ceiling, the wall, the floor, eyes rolling wildly. The world twists, soaked in red. And so our life comes to an end. We sought answers, and this was our reward. Unfortunately, we got Yuya killed in our endeavors, and ourselves, but what can you do? We now know for sure the doctor is the cause of the disappearances. But now we're left with a why. What are his experiments, and why is he doing this? For the next path, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did. Exactly. The only difference is that we're going to attend math class every single time. We'll be the smartest girl ever. So, fast forward to the very end, we confront Shuu, and we die. A scene occurs after our death in which what I assume to be the Hawks faction. They're talking about emergency at the school, or as they call it, the Pigeonation Project. Their researcher, Dr. Shuu, has stolen a classified sample labeled HB87. Shuu is on the run with our severed head in a jar. He asks us if we loved him. Yes, is all we can muster, true or not. Then Shuu smashes the jar on the ground, ending our life once and for all, an act he greatly enjoyed. And that ends Shuu's second playthrough, and that ends our second death. Or does it count as our third? I think this ending may have caused more questions than it provided answers. Why are we the supposed classified HB87? And what interest do the Hawks have in us? Let's now jump to our third attempt for this episode. This is going to be a weird one, so hold on tight. In this playthrough, we will again join the infirmary staff, and most of our decisions at first are the same as both of Dr. Shuu's path that we just took. That is up until Tanabata. Here, we wish for the mad love of a fallen angel. Ryota asks us to get lunch when a new face appears, a bird with a chest stained deep red. He introduces himself as Anghel, the fallen servant of God. He talks nonsense about finding the truth of the light of the red moon, and refers to us as Edelblau of the blue sky, and runs off. During a hot day in July, Sakuya mocks us about feeling overheated. Anghel appears again and Sakuya mocks him, telling him to, and I quote, "Go back to the Philippines and bang some coconuts together." Anghel is apparently in D&D mode and refers to Sakuya as the hallowed magician of white, saying he has no business with him. Anghel asks if we remember who he is. We ask if he is a fallen angel escaped from the demonic prison of Judica. Before the conversation can continue, he senses something is wrong and dashes out of the room. We later meet Anghel in the hallway. He says he's going to open a gate to the other world. By that, he seems to mean the infirmary. He senses evil magic, the Tree of Blight, Rufa. We talk him out of it, in fear that he might get into trouble with Dr. Shuu. Crisis averted for now. We invite Anghel to the summer festival. Before entering the festival ground, he hands us a protection charm. He rambles on about reapers, echoes of the end, and how we need to undergo training, and then we enjoy the festival, in our own way. We find the ID card on the ground, as always, except this time Anghel appears. Akagi Yoshio, we read to Angel's horror. He warns we could open the Pandora's Gate by reading that forbidden name. We ask if he is Akagi, which seems to cause him physical pain for some reason. We urge him to sign the contract. Anghel tries to remind us that we, the Angel of Fire, were the one who caged him in eternal ice. We then remind him that we are allies with him, apparently. Placing the ID card in our hands, he dashes away. Yuya finds Anghel trying to get into the infirmary but stops him. Yuya introduces himself to Anghel as the Midnight Rose. This name means something to Anghel, apparently knowing who Yuya is, an apostle of the Violet Rose, which he trusts greatly. Yuya reiterates that he should not confront Dr. Shuu, the Black Magician, without a plan. During the Maid Cafe, we find out that Anghel is part of the Manga Club, which maybe explains some things. He's no angel, he's just a weeb. He dashes away, leaving us to run his manga stand. Christmas Eve is spent alone yet again. But Anghel does send us a thoughtful gift, a crucifix to protect ourselves with, and a message. Judgment draws near. Let us meet at the promised place. New Year's Day, and we go down to the local shrine to get a luck charm. We see Anghel there, freaking out over what charm he should get to ensure the greatest protection. We suggest he take a traffic safety charm, because he seems like someone who might get hit by a car. We find a letter at our desk. The time has come. Meet me at Rufa, the Tree of Blight. We enter the infirmary, and to our amazement, the Tree of Blight is real. Dr. Shuu and Anghel are prepared to engage in combat. Dr. Shuu says he is Wallenstein, the Dark King. Shuu uses his magical powers to pull the avatar of destruction from Anghel's heart. It is absorbed by the tree. Anghel reveals to us that in times of gods and demons, we took our blade up to put an end to his madness. Shuu then summons Hymnesia, bringer of death. Then this crazy shit happens. Anghel hands us Sacrum, the Holy Spear, to engage in battle with Hymnesia. In what turns out to be an actual RPG fight, our wisdom seems to increase the damage of our magical spells, while our vitality is our HP. We randomly cast spells on the opponent until it is defeated. Our memories return of our time of angels and demons, and the story comes to a close. So, how about that? Of all the stories so far, Ghost Kid was surprising, and Pudding Lord was really dumb, but this storyline is just kind of insane. I have to pretend that this story, along with those other two, aren't exactly real. But let's take a breather now anyway. We've been through some crazy shit. Thanks for watching up until now, and I have no doubt we're in for a treat next time.